got all my wiggles out.
3, 2, 1.
Flex. Oh, dang, you can flex.
I can flex?
Yeah. The
I'm
only
wearing
one.
like the biggest hoodie in the world. Like, hold on, we're looking at my quads.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm wearing a hoodie too.
I don't have much to flex these days. Super lean.
We got the littles on this side.
I got nothing to flex. It's okay.
I haven't had time yet, but I took a video of all the lifts that I did, and then I did one of those like what DJ did was took a picture of
yourself?
my body.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna post that soon.
What? Oh, at the event. What lifts you did on Saturday?
Yeah, so I went about it a different way,
I did see you video yourself.
which I'll talk about when we get there.
Okay.
Like what my approach was, my goal for the lifting event. But hey, we have a guest.
Dango.
Unchained.
Dude, you know what I thought about? The fact that if you have Dang on, I was gonna call her like superfan #1, but then Jana,
Ooh.
man, she asked to be a guest too, and we're like, oh.
So I guess I beat
We try
Jana.
to get Jana
I really
on.
hope Jana watches this.
She will.
Sorry, Jana.
You beat her on here.
We try to get her before she moves, so she.
We did try. Just
She
to
was
do
busy.
The long
some
con.
FixFit
The
testimonial.
long con always wins.
You know what? If you leave San Diego,
Sorry.
what's the point?
We don't know you anymore.
Yeah.
Unless you
it's too
visit.
far.
Unless you visit, then
Then-
we're friends again.
Then we're fine.
Or still, if Google wants us over there, we'll come in a heartbeat.
If
But
it's on a private jet,
the Google Jet.
I have a writer. You know, I need to red M&Ms
Only.
Oh,
and
74 degrees inside.
73.
No, we brought Dang on because she was a FixFit Concepts success story and evolved it.
Well, let's ask her some basic questions because people don't know.
Oh,
Dang.
who are you, Dang?
Yeah, who are you? Let's talk about who you are.
Full
They
name.
found me on the side. Well, it's gonna be weird. Okay. Full
I'm
name.
Fat Patricia.
Full name's Patricia Dang. You're only gonna hear them call me Dang because when I first joined CrossFit Sun 6, maybe 7 years ago, there was 2 other Patricias. So
Whoa.
then I went by Dang. And then now everyone that's new that comes thinks my name is just Dang.
I know. I didn't know.
So I just go by that now.
That's why Miles asked. Because she came. Dang was at the Wim Hof seminar. He's like, "Why is her name Dang?" And I had to think back too. I'm like,
I was, and it's actually seeping into my
That's her last name, dude.
non-CrossFit world.
yeah. I'm like to us, that's her name, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
It's been so long, and I had to think back, and I was like,
Literally the second week I was there, I would write, because we used to write our name and our scores on the board before the online thing.
maybe that's what
And
happened.
I didn't tell anyone it. I just wrote Dang on it. Everyone asked like, "Who is this?" And I said, "Oh, it's me." And then literally
Patricia, number
after
3.
that first week.
You're P3.
You're P3. Patricia number 3.
But
damn, it was 6 or 7 years ago? For real?
legit, I either
Wow.
joined in 2013 or 2014. So 6 to 7 years.
We were
Jeez.
talking the other week. I was like, man, I remember like going out to celebrate her 21st birthday.
Yeah, I legit.
And what are you? How old are you now? Like,
I'm 27.
so I'm like, damn, I remember that. So it's
Whoa.
like, that's
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Jeez.
Yeah, like all the coaches, most of the coaches anyway that I knew, and then a bunch of other people, like they all went to my 21st birthday. It was wild.
It's
It's a scary group to go out with for drinking.
Because in CrossFit,
No,
people,
I'm way better now. Thanks, Andrea.
She doesn't listen, so don't worry.
people come and go to take break because the kids or whatnot, and then Tino, one of those old school members, like from the garage days, he's back now. But then I forgot because it was so long ago. But he was the one that brought Dang in.
Oh, damn.
We worked at the same place, and he introduced me to CrossFit because I was transitioning out of something else,
Right.
like martial arts.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I've never been. I worked in a gym, no idea how to use any of their stuff, and I was like, I don't want to do. I see people doing global gym stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this just isn't for me because I'm not.
How old were you then? How old were you when you started? Were you
CrossFit?
No.
20?
I was I just turned 20.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I legit was 20 for like maybe because I started I think in March. So my birthday is December, so I just turned
Got it.
20.
Wait,
And
what
then,
was your martial arts background again?
I did Taekwondo and Judo.
Taekwondo for up to a black belt, right?
Yeah, I have a second degree black belt in Taekwondo, and I did like a Chinese like Kung Fu Wushu type of martial arts before that, and I have a second degree black in that as well.
Oh shit.
And then in Judo, I reached like blue belt, and that was it.
Is this like from a kid?
Yeah, I started at like 6, and then I stopped at 16 because I moved to San Diego at 16 in 08. And then that's when I picked up Taekwondo because they didn't have Judo around, Carmel Mountain, Poway.
No, we were talking to Jeff Mott about that. He said
there was no jiu-jitsu either that I knew of.
Yeah,
so really. I picked up Taekwondo because it was closer, and it was also taught by a Vietnamese teacher. So there's already a bond there and stuff like that. And I did that from 08, literally up until I started CrossFit.
Yeah. Oh wow, so that's the background.
That's where the athleticism comes from, though, because everyone always goes like, "What the hell? She's lifting 3 times her body weight. What's happening here?"
And she's so frail.
She's so tiny. Everyone says, "I'm like." She has athleticism, and you've learned how to properly lift from good coaches, really.
It's also the dedication. Anyone that's done something for a long period of time is the work ethic.
Yeah.
And not just the work ethic, but like learning to commit to something to get better at it, And
that's true. Showing up 5 days. Yeah. That was like Taekwondo, right?
Yeah.
Monday through Friday?
Monday through Saturday. Because I used to be on a competition team, and Saturday was dedicated to just competition, like sparring.
Yep.
And the reason, so I met Tino working, and I was transitioning out because I started going to college, San Diego Mesa Community College, and I couldn't travel to compete anymore, and so I was getting kind of bored. There was no one around my age. Everyone left because they were like UCSD and they have jobs now.
Yeah.
So it was either adults or like little kids. So then Tino was doing CrossFit, and he introduced like, hey, I had no idea what CrossFit was. I didn't even know.
I don't think anyone knew at that point.
That's true. This was 2000, like I said, 13 or 14. Zero knowledge of CrossFit. I've never even heard the word. So he took me to CrossFit Sun, which we worked at Frogs, so it was about 400 meters.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And it was, they were across the street or across the alley, so they were very small at this time. CrossFit Sun came in, and I saw a bunch of people lifting weights to loud music, chalk, and I think the person I saw first was Christine Milana squatting a crazy amount of weight in moccasins.
I remember her.
Just straight chilling. She was just in some like Target moccasins, some knee sleeves, and she had what now is like 225 because she had like 45s on.
But at the time you're like, what?
I'm like, what is this? Like, how do I don't.
Do you remember your first workout?
Yes. After my 3 intros, my first week was benchmark week. So my first workout was Fight Gone Bad, and my partner was Summer Sun.
Yeah.
And this 12-year-old girl was kicking my ass.
That's a good introduction for someone that's competitive or that's an athlete.
Murked me.
You're an athlete,
that
right?
That girl is super strong. This little child is kicking my ass.
Literally 12 or 13.
I need the secrets.
Yeah.
That's the way I kind of felt it too. Like, I'm seeing all these different people do all this cool shit, and I'm like, wow, that guy's Chris Spieler was the one I looked up. I'm like, he weighs 135 pounds. He could deadlift that and run that mile. And I'm like, I'm sold,
That's crazy.
And I think that week, probably what sold me on CrossFit, because I was like, there's no possible way it could be worse than this. It was like Fight Gone Bad, Nancy, Fran, Barbara, and Karen, like 150 wall balls. And then Friday was some weird, like, whatever.
Talk about program evolution, right? Like,
true. Yeah. Oh, and Cindy. I'm like, there's no way it can get worse than this.
And now it's like we did half Cindy a week ago, 10 minutes.
A lot of people
and
are sore.
Everyone is like deathly sore. And I had to tell people like, you have it good now because we're programming smarter. Because
it used to be Cindy.
Because I was like, if we even did just one Cindy, not even benchmark week, right, which is 20 minutes of 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 squats, for those of you who don't know. Like, the second 10 minutes is just adding on to your soreness.
Yeah.
The first 10 is the intensity's high and everyone's already wrecked.
Yeah.
But back in the day, I was telling people stories of, like, this is what CrossFit used to be because there wasn't so much experience yet, right? It's, you find a workout that's challenging. I remember doing G.I. Jane every day. We're like, because it's 100 burpee pull-ups, right?
Yeah. You thought, like, I could just get it better.
And we had the little pull-up thing where it's a pull-up stand with a dip station in the garage, so we don't even have a full pull-up bar, so we can't even really kip. So we would do it, and then, you know, our brothers and whoever else, Danny and everyone was around was like, let's do it again, because it was all about the time.
Yeah.
And I remember back in the day too, people would do something like Filthy 50, and then they're like trying to do it every day to get a faster score.
Yeah.
Wow. That's silly.
Or like,
thinking back, like how stupid the benchmark week is. Yeah. Like now we'll what we do is we'll train for Cindy, but we'll like spend a month on it. You know, we'll train for Murph.
Yeah, and we'll sprinkle. The coaches will sprinkle the movements in. So we're not doing like actual Cindy for a month. We'll do workouts with pull-ups, and then we'll do workouts with air squats, and then we'll do workout with push-ups, kind of just to get that stimulus. But I can say as a member, I remember we would do like 20-minute EMOM of back squats. Get to a heavy triple or 5, and then after that you do like Linda or Cindy, and then the next day would be like, oh, we do this, and then we do front.
Like, that was strength, and then or skill strength.
Yeah, but the skill would be really high skill. The strength would be like heavy as possible, and then the workout would be a benchmark or something crazy, but it would be full throttle all the time, every single day. Like if you're not almost throwing up, are you even working out?
Yeah. Well, that was the whole story with Pukey the Clown for CrossFit, and Bill Grundler, when we were doing our road trip, explained the story. That's why the mascot is Pukey the Clown. It's because back in the day, there was no holding back. There's no gaming and strategy. There's no games yet, really. So even though it's like a 40-minute AMRAP, like 3, 2, 1, go.
You go hard.
Yeah. You put pedal to the metal at minute 1.
Yeah.
And then everyone obviously throws
before Rhabdo was invented.
And that's funny because I didn't even think about the strength
They didn't even
training.
know what Rhabdo was. Like, I'm just peeing dark colors.
Because in the beginning, what you just talked about with the strength training is it's evolved so much, right? We have all these protocols like FixFit concepts and all that now, and all these like well-structured Olympic lifting programs. Yeah. So back then, it was figure out how you could get an edge to make yourself a little stronger, a little better at lifting. So we would take a full Olympic lifting program and
just do it
with
CrossFit.
A full crazy CrossFit program with a powerlifting and a gymnastic program.
And it would be like 3 hours a day.
Yeah. And that's where it's like people have a hard time just training like, oh man, I can't allocate 3 sessions a week to work on my Olympic lifting.
Right.
We're like, we used to train 2-3 hours a day just to get the basics in.
Yeah, when I first joined, Dang and Albrecht and like one other, maybe Danny, were doing Olympic lifting blocks. It was like right around like the end of like October, November, December. You guys were just trying to hit some PRs before the end of the year.
Yeah, that's usually how it would go.
Yeah, and then I haven't seen that block nobody.
Because you know what I realized, and I think I realized this before Mark ever addressed it, because I think he's addressed it on this podcast. I want to say during your guys' running talk about you were treating someone that was running, right? But he was talking about programming, and I realized it didn't really work because it was kind of like, okay, well, let's say I PR'd last year by like 5 or 10 pounds, and then most Olympic weightlifting programs, if you guys don't know, is you go off of your percentages of your max, and then you'll work off of that. It's like, cool, well, my max went up 10 pounds, but now all my working sets went up, and that's essentially how you get stronger, because you consistently lift heavier in those working sets. But it's like at some point you're gonna hit either a technical ceiling or just your potential, your natural potential ceiling, or just something, or you get injured from lifting as often as you are when you shouldn't be, with not great form to begin with, because no one's really watching you. We were just fucking around in the back, Albert and I, after class. Like, it's not like Mark is watching us intently.
It was like you guys on your own, and I'd be like learning WODs and stuff, like structure of CrossFit classes, and you guys be in the background like throwing around weight. And then we would get
pissed when we don't PR, and we've spent like 3-4 months on this cycle, dedicating all this time, and then I realized it's like, you're not going to PR every single block that you do, and you're going to have to figure out why. Is it structurally? Is it you're burning out? Is it because you're doing too much?
But Mark always says like that's you either PR or you don't. That was the point of that programming. Yeah. Olympic lifting, powerlifting is like that, but the concepts one is that's totally why he calls it concepts, because it's like you got to learn to self-assess, find imbalances, not because like we're gonna talk about like our blocks were like, you know, like you were saying, oh, it says 7x1 deadlift, and then we're just like, well, we don't want to do that anymore. We're just going to do farmer's carries now. You know, it's like we feel those muscles under tension in that, not in the 7x1 today. So it can evolve into whatever you want. You can customize it like that, which is freaking awesome.
It's a perfect segue because this whole podcast is the follow-up, because our FixFit concepts technically is just ended.
Yeah.
And, you know, the whole idea behind it is we're trying to cater to the masses. And now the programs evolve where we realize that people programming for just fitness and strength and conditioning has changed. Like, people don't have the time. Like what Dan was saying, you just follow some sort of 12-week program to just do that in general. And two, we're trying to make sure that, like, if we have a program that you're trying to get stronger with, like, there's a different intention that's more custom to your goal. Because then it's like, if you just follow this program, like you said, it's like, do you IPR or not? But you didn't learn anything, so you're not going to get better. Yeah. That's going to lead you to get injuries and stuff like that. You know?
Or just feel like if you didn't PR, you just spent 12 weeks
doing
and
what?
then what?
Yeah.
Like not only did you learn nothing,
and you blame it on like a week of bad nutrition or something, you know, like,
I just wasted all this time.
It's like, I had a bad week. I was
dehydrated.
Yeah.
I hate, because then people start going into, that's habit. Mindset's habit, right? So when something doesn't go right, then you just all of a sudden default into making the excuse. Like, that's what we see with injury. Someone's like, oh man, I blew out my knee or my shoulder. Oh man, that was, you know, perfect storm. Perfect storm. I was dehydrated. I didn't sleep right. I didn't warm up right. It's like, no man, it's the shit you've been doing for the last 5 years, 3 years, or the training cycle.
Yeah,
totally.
And so programming for the masses, the FixFit concept is also, people like to follow a program. We notice that too, right? So then that's where it kind of like, you can follow it as is, because it's designed to allow you to do that, or you have the flexibility to kind of modify it and not do any of that type of anything on the program, because you're still working on your imbalances, assessing your movement, and then working towards your goal, whether it's to get strong, fix an injury or imbalance, or to, you know, try to learn how to apply it to things you like to do.
Yeah.
Like FixFit Jacked.
So that's what I was going to say. Well, I'll start it with what I got out of the 8 weeks was I started doing more jiu-jitsu in the beginning of December, so the time to actually lift was kind of limited. So when I did a FixFit Jack session, it was different for me. I would do double down to get my VMOs on because it was helping my knees and my hip. Like, my hip mobility has been way better from it. And then I do strict press because it was helping like lower my lats down and take tension off my neck from being sore from jiu-jitsu. Didn't deadlift anything ever on the whole thing. Like, I thought that the FixFit Jacked with kettlebells got enough of a deadlift motion, and I didn't back squat either.
Because especially if those aren't your goals, if you're still doing those movements,
you're getting the squat and the pistons because it's a squat pattern. You're getting the lat hinges. We did so many lat hinge ladders. You didn't deadlift, but it's
never touched a barbell for those.
Your body's doing the same thing.
Same shit,
But it's a goal for you. You weren't trying to hit a barbell deadlift PR.
It helped me show people too, like, that their knees and hips move at the same time on a squat, and it was just helpful to identify which VMO is weak, which both, and then it just helped my hip mobility accidentally, really. You know, it was like, I didn't go into that. I just did it to blow up the VMOs, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I could front squat without hip pain.
And
I could do this without hip pain.
You talked about the running, which you just started running. Yeah. Just because you did a set of double downs.
Yeah, and then I do double down body weight in the parking lot before a jog. We won't call it running. Dang has a different definition of running. It was a light jog, very low pace. But yeah, I was like, dude, my knees just feel like light. Like, just like they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're just supposed to be hinging. They're not supposed to be like fucking flexing every time I land and go up a hill and stuff. So I felt so much better, which just those movements. But from the strength portion, I didn't really focus barbell stuff. But like Dane said, it just wasn't my goal.
We kept promoting it as we're trying to teach you how to work out. That's the concept is. And then so you did exactly that. You're going to jiu-jitsu. You're doing more things for the fitness for jiu-jitsu. Right. And then you started like, running for jiu-jitsu, you felt better. Your calves didn't lock up after 4
Oh, yeah, the calves, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, so...
That was weird.
So you had success, and even because your goal was not powerlifting.
Low back didn't hurt. Calves didn't cramp. No shin tightness. I was like, this is different. Because the goal was just to kind of drop weight, get cardio up, and we rolled for... an hour and a half on Friday. I mean, it wasn't hard rolling, but like Mark said, when we were done, he was like, we were able to go an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And we haven't done, like a couple months at least.
It's been
jiu-jitsu.
Not that long ever. In our gym setting.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a long time. And just to be none of us tapped out with like, okay, we're done, I'm gassed, or like, I don't want to go again. And
you're like, we gotta go because people are waiting on us.
Yeah, we're just like, we mostly got to go because I always get hungry. Well, he was like, I gotta fucking eat.
That was like a marathon like roll. That was a lot. We did like a couple.
It's crazy.
5s, a couple 10s, and a couple 20s.
Yeah, at the end it was 2. Everyone got a 20, so it was 40 minutes each back to, or like 20 back to back, and then you're done.
I can't imagine.
Rolling. We didn't expect to either.
Yeah.
We didn't know what was gonna happen, but we felt good.
Yeah, I was so sore this weekend though, but
this was the day before our lifting event. So.
Oh, Friday. Friday night. Well, typically Friday night.
And then Mark, yeah, you can talk about yours because Ding's should be last because hers is the most successful,
the most important. We can't really. People aren't gonna listen to us. They're gonna be like biased.
Toot our own horns.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this was so great.
But this failure over here, we even got her in it.
Tell us all the failures about it.
And looking back, like I started not really having a goal because my big goal was the deadlift thing, and then I learned so much from it, and kind of we've created a program to learn how to work out, get strong. So I was thinking that maybe I'll follow the program as is and see how it goes to see how much strength I can build. But the kicker for me was the carnivore diet. The carnivore diet, because there's some say 3-month, 6-month adaptation. Like your body will like feel weaker, your muscles will be a lot more flat, and then after you kind of piss out all the hydration and your body adapts to it, then you start building more muscle mass, the whole deal. So I started doing the first 2 weeks. I followed the protocol as is, which was doing your back squats, your press, the deadlift, and that felt okay. But since I still wanted to do some like CrossFit, like it felt like the wind was knocked out of me. I had no gas. So then
this is all with carnivore diarrhea too. This is pretty impressive.
It's your body, like a lot of people like, oh, you don't everywhere. People like, you don't poop as much because your body absorbs it all. Dude, I was pooping like,
no, that's
like
what Joe Rogan was talking about.
Exactly.
Like,
when he posted that, I was,
it's violent.
I was like, I'm only eating like just meat.
Yeah.
And I'm pooping like, I'm eating like 10 meals a day.
Quick transition, yeah.
Again, it makes sense because I'm probably dehydrated. My body's getting rid of all that excess water. And
No, dude, anytime you change a diet to whatever kind, your digestive system's got to get used to it, so it's flushing all of
it.
Dude,
I did a 24-hour fast. Never done that before. It was accidental, but I told Mark, I was like, I'm almost 24 hours. I'm just going to go for it. And then a steak, maybe? I think I had steak. Yeah, it was a ribeye. Whoa, I was like, is this what it is? And he's all, oh yeah, it's like that for like 2 days. I was all, I'm out, bro. Friggin' fiber the next day, man. I was like, get me out of this.
That's the number one worry for most people on the carnivore threads is that
my God,
the bowel movements are so intense and changes that people freak out.
Like, don't go to work for 2 days.
That's what I was like. I can't go to work.
They feel like there's something wrong, and if you go down to the science, it's like your body has to adapt to start to process and digest all that fat. So you'll see that so much is changing, but it's. So for working out purposes, like I was favoring all of because after 2 weeks we started kicking into the first 2 we called it as like adaptation of the program.
Yeah.
Then the second 2 weeks we were encouraging a lot of people to do more FixFit Jack now on top of it. So then when I started doing the FixFit Jack, which is like functional bodybuilding or whatever you like to call it, then my body started to react really well to that. So, because I didn't need to move fast, I could rest between sets. And then so with the carnivore diet and then my body liking more of that FixFit Jack, I just stuck to that for the last month.
Yeah.
So I didn't really back squat, press, or deadlift. I still did CrossFit workouts. The CrossFit workouts...
Dude, you were looking light in those too.
They didn't feel great, right? Because he
was floating around.
If people you're accustomed to pushing very hard, I guess with carbs. That's one way to describe it. Yeah. And then so when I was working out, I felt like I was
missing carbs.
Yeah, I didn't have the on switch.
Mm-hmm.
But
I felt that before.
The times and the stuff that I'm putting up, the reps and Mary and this, I'm like, holy fuck! I'm like.
Do you agree with?
I didn't feel good, but the scores were great for me not doing anything.
Also, I want to note that because we've done Mary twice now within a span of like 4 or 5 months, right? So we've done half Mary during the games when they were doing their Mary.
Oh, I was super fat then.
So that's what I wanted to bring up. So.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead.
Please don't. He's been booted at a Thick Boy Club for a while.
So the first time we did Mary, several months ago, he was bulking because Mark's goal was a 500-pound deadlift. That was around like July, whatever, right? Time. That lifting event. So he was like bulked to the max, like fluffy, thick.
He was Thick Boy Club, right?
That was pretty thick.
Almost 3 C's, like 2.5.
And he did half Mary, which is 10 minutes, and he did about 5 rounds. Because I did it with you, like in the PM class. You did about 5 and some change.
Yeah.
And then we did half Mary again last week.
Sweating butter and shit.
Yeah, and within 4 to 5 months, and now he's on his carnivore diet. Because before he was just bulking, he was just eating whatever. There was no diet to it.
A lot of rice.
And now he's on the carnivore, and he legitimately did 8 plus some change. So he did 3 full rounds.
That's what I'm saying. He's floating right in.
Within like that's how crazy he got back. And he doesn't even feel good. You don't even feel like
I didn't feel like I killed Mary.
Yeah.
I know we had counters that night and whatnot, and we had it was legit, this and that, and I felt like I didn't do very well. And then I looked down at the score because I always compare, like, you have your doppelgangers, and so I always compare. I watched Zach and Christian do it first, and I was like, oh man, I hope I can stay close to them, And then when I got the score, I kind of like double take, like,
that was me.
This
guy discounted.
I didn't
so light now.
feel good,
so light.
But it's true because like I remember the first time doing, I had to break up my pull-ups a lot, and then I remember doing it with you next to you.
Yeah,
I like one set it
that's
a
what I was
couple
talking
times.
About. He's fucking looking like Monty up there. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Like,
and I was just,
is that Monty?
You know what it was? I was just focusing on breathing too, but
the breathing out stuff with the Hickson.
So it was a cool test for me in terms of like to wrap it up, like the end goal, because my focus completely switched to just doing FixFit jacked, and let's just test it out for a month because I haven't only followed like that as a primary. Usually the accessory drills are accessory drills, so I kind of viewed the FixFit jacked as the main workout, and then CrossFit, and then maybe if I got on the mats once or twice, that's the
that was good yeah.
And I haven't even been doing like outside stuff like rope pulls and sleds, and we used to do that a lot, which we need to get back into.
Definitely.
I tested it out, and then so I went into the lifting event, which was, again, as I posted in our group, is like, just do it the week before, the week after if you can't make it. But the goal for the lifting event is for you to kind of see where you're at, like check in, see, we did videos on your imbalances, if you want to go for a PR, try to taper. I didn't try to go for any PR, so I rolled with you the day before, and Bob, and you guys are way bigger than I am, for about like an hour and a half.
Barely.
And we did Mary 2 days before that, and I hit more rounds than I ever have, so my body's like completely
couldn't move.
Not in the ideal conditions, let's say, to lift on Saturday. So I went into Saturday just putting all of this to the test. I did all the lifts, not with the sake of hitting PRs, but proving that like I should still be capable of hitting these minimums
or close to.
So I did a snatch, a clean, back squat, strict press, and a deadlift. So not only am I sore as fuck and we rolled a lot, I did
all the lifts that CrossFit offers.
And the cool thing was, yes, I have training in it, in the past, but in the last month, I didn't do any of these lifts. And if I did, it might have been a random Saturday for like, so I didn't do any training on these lifts. I didn't do snatching consistently, cleaning consistently. I probably did very little of those two. I haven't back squatted in a long time, strict press, or deadlift. And then so I was super happy to hit all my minimums. And I rolled afterwards, just off of the FixFit jacked protocol. So I'm leaner, and I weighed in at like 169. When I hit big numbers, when I hit the big numbers, I was close to like 186 was the event day, July 4th.
It was.
And then my biggest weight,
190?
193. So I'm 169, and I was still able to hit a 200-pound snatch, 225 clean. I mean, granted, it wasn't pretty, and it took a couple shots. 300 back squat, strict press 135, and then deadlift 405. So definitely not like the top end, but in my opinion, I called it like, this is CrossFit strong. Like I want to still be able to do shit.
Yeah.
And
because those numbers will carry you through any WOD.
Because then if I were to try to recreate that like years ago or whatever, I would probably be doing a lot of snatching, cleaning, back squatting, pressing, deadlifting to prepare for the event. It's very traditional.
Yeah.
But I just focus on doing the movement patterns and FixFit Jack. Maybe with the diet too, I look better in terms of like body composition because I burn off all the fat like Joe Rogan was talking about. But I was still able to do what I want to do.
The biggest thing I took out with what Joe Rogan said, you probably could attest to it, was how he said his mood was even the whole time. Yeah. There wasn't like when you get an energy boost from like a keto diet where you're like, oh man, I'm just like on this high right now because I'm like burning fat, and it's like euphoric, and then it crashes and tapers or whatever. He said there was none of that, and then there was no like I feel like shit. It was just constant, and his workouts were like represented the same thing.
That's exactly what I was talking to the people that are doing the carnivore with me, Steve, Bob, and stuff. Is like this is the easiest diet to transition into because I've done keto and you get the keto flu, and I've done all these other things, and you don't get the down or up,
right,
because you're eating enough calories and protein that satiates you, right? But usually keto is more about fat, right?
Right.
And then
which gives you a euphoric
and then protein keeps you fuller longer.
And protein fuels the muscles, and so I felt like you are even keeled the whole time because there's not an influx of the other two macros, right?
Right.
And you're not limiting the protein, you're not limiting the carbs, it's just all protein. Yep. And I think that was the secret sauce. Yep. All the other ones focus on the other ones, so it was kind of cool. It was I'm still testing on that, but I think having that even keel mentality due to the carnivore allowed me to do less Wim Hof too, because I was doing it every day because the Wim Hof was like a tool to control my anxiety or stress. But I've been just as busy, if not more busy these days, starting a jiu-jitsu thing, but I don't have to do as much Wim Hof because
your diet's keeping you chill.
Keeping me mellow.
Keeping you mellow.
And that's the FixFit mentality, right? I should be finding the root cause of the problem. What's causing the anxiety? It's like all the rice and shit I was eating or whatever. Or just a regular paleo diet even. And then, so now that's gone. I don't have to bandage the symptoms so much with like doing Wim Hof every fucking time, you know?
Steak right now.
I know, right?
Sounds so good. And then Dang, how did it start off for you? Because you were at the seminar doing all the
this is a little roundabout answer to, or my wrap-ups of the concepts is a little bit more of a roundabout first. So I do FixFit here and there before the concepts with, the class, and I'm sure you guys can both attest to it. It's kind of like half-assing it, like, oh, people warm up.
Dabbling.
It's in the class, I'll do it. There's some finishers, maybe some Terry's carry or farmer's carry, I'll do it. But it's not like...
So you're not actually doing it?
No.
Because the
idea
that's true,
is... because I wasn't focused. I was...
You're not doing it with an intention.
I was going through the motion, but there was no mind-muscle connection. Is that a better way of putting it?
Yeah, so one thing
like I was going through the motions of doing it because it was programmed.
The intention's
wrong. But I had no idea what it worked. I had no idea what muscles I was supposed to be engaging.
Which ones are weak.
I didn't know what, like if let's say we're doing deadlifts, I wouldn't know how to prep for that. Like what do I do like some deadlifts? Do I roll out my hip? Like if you were to tell me to do it on my own, no clue, because I wasn't paying attention. I would just do whatever is on the board. So then Mark got a lot more into FixFit, and it's like really trying to teach the class like, hey, there's a reason we're doing this. So then I train in the morning with DJ and Leslie, who are both coaches. So then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna commit to this FixFit seminar that Ian and Mark are holding, because it's like, why not, right? I'm already training with these guys, might as well like learn something. So my biggest thing I was trying to fix is the imbalance I have in my upper body. A little bit in the hip, but I think it ranges more in my upper body. So my shoulders, whenever I lift, whether it's squatting or dynamic movement like snatching, I would always either be crooked or tilt or rotating.
The helicopter
like
when
you
catch a snatch and then you would rotate like
if I'm facing in and I'm snatching, if it's really heavy and I'm trying to go for a PR, when I'm done I'll be facing Mark.
Just the upper body.
Still in the squat though, so my upper body is facing Mark. My feet are still pointing towards Ian.
Yeah.
So
not even a movement thing though. For the longest time, it's like the visual, just you standing there. The amount of muscle mass on the left to right, just whole shoulder back, let's say, it looks like 2 different shoulders.
Like if you put a PVC on my back to warm up for back squats, I can have the PVC standing still and you can see my left shoulder going really, really high, my right shoulder low. I haven't even done anything. I'm literally just standing here. Mm-hmm. So that was my biggest thing that I wanted to fix, because I was like, imagine how much more I can accomplish with 2 working sides of my body.
Exactly.
And
that's the athlete sell, right?
Exactly.
Because for me, I'm like, dude, I don't want you to have a slap tear shoulder surgery.
And I'm like, cool, whatever.
ACL, but they don't care. They're like, I don't want you to tear something because you're helicoptering and then you have ACL tear.
Yeah.
But that's how I had to sell the DJ. It's like, you're only using one shoulder.
Imagine
50%.
How strong you can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have 2 shoulders. You can use both of them.
Yeah.
Do you even know where your lat is?
Yeah.
Oh, there's no lats for sure.
So going into it, the seminar, learned a lot, took some notes, and then the first 3 weeks, DJ, myself, and Leslie, we were all doing we were doing everything as is on paper. Mm-hmm. We would warm up, we would do our compound lifts, and then we would cool down. Mm-hmm. And then Mark, like he just said, would add in the FixFit Jack stuff, which is functional bodybuilding, like the pump up muscle workouts, and we would do that. And then we kind of stopped doing the compound movements and just did the bodybuilding part. We would literally just work on one body part a day and really get those moving correctly, though. We would really try to, if it's lat day, cool, we're not just doing lat pull downs to do lat pull downs. We would pause, we would negative, we would do sets until we would feel it, and then start counting from there. Nice. And it got really fun. And so then my biggest goal for the lifting event was I wanted a 300-pound deadlift. Now, I've hit that once in my life, and I was 145 at the time. What? I'm 115 now.
Shit.
On a good day. With some pants on. And a hoodie.
And lifters.
That's a big deal. I mean, like, coming
pounds.
Back from just recent, right? Like, yeah, that's close to me. Like, being 30 pounds heavier, everything feels so
different.
Strong when you lift, and then when you go to a lighter body weight, weightlifting is just horrendous. Like it's so.
But it's not even the weight; it's just the leverages feel different. Like the way I pull, the way I
for sure
in the whole of a lift, it feels off. It doesn't feel the same. Like my leverages just feel different.
So when you hit that 300 once, it's kind of like this old school stories of like, man, I used to hit this bench once, right? It's like a lucky day. Right? Never recreated again. It wasn't even that you trained for it. Like, how long ago was that?
This this is legitimately 2015.
Oh, so it's like a long time
15
ago.
And it's 2020 now, so 4.5 to 5 years, depending on the month or whatever. So but that's because that's when I was thicker. I was 145.
So now you're 30 pounds.
30 pounds lighter.
Wow.
And about 4 years older.
And not training deadlifts.
Nope.
Not being a powerlifting protocol.
Nope. And actually, when we started doing this FixFit concepts, DJ and I have not, and these both these guys can tell, we love lifting. Mm. And we don't do it the best. We don't just EMOM it, go heavy as shit, miss, just keep going. We haven't consistently OLE'd or powerlifted since like October, really. So we'll just lift a couple times a week and that's it. But we were more just doing the functional bodybuilding and then lift in class if there's lifting. Mm-hmm. But we wouldn't try to add it in. We'll do other stuff. We'll do farmer's carry, yoke carry, piston, sandbag squats, all of that stuff.
And you hit what on Saturday?
And I hit 295. Yep. No straps. No belt. I did have a belt, but I didn't put the belt on until the last 2 attempts.
Did you have a switch or no?
No switch. All hook grip. No switch.
Sandals?
No straps.
Moccasins?
I wore shoes, but they weren't tied, if that counts. But I had both double overhand hook grip.
Yeah.
I put my belt on for the last 2 lifts, and then I think that was like all the gear I had, really. And I haven't been training like Mark said, I haven't been training deadlifts at all. In a workout, if there's deadlifts, I will go a little bit heavier to make that my deadlift day.
Right.
But my main goal, I really wanted to hit 300. That was the goal. I was like, listen, I can do this. I feel really good. I got really close. I hit 295. It took like 20. It was the longest deadlift pull I think on the
I wonder
history
in
of
a
the
competition
planet.
if they'd be like, lift, and they're like, how much time do you get?
Do you think they would flag me for time taken to lift?
I don't think so.
As long as the bar doesn't have a rebend.
Right. As long as you didn't.
Because that deadlift, man.
It usually starts really slow because the bar bends until the flex of the bar can start picking it up.
Yeah. I think you were fine.
That deadlift, I lost some eyesight probably. Like I couldn't see. But
it's such a cool accomplishment because coming from my deadlift goal, it's the same accomplishment in my opinion, but you didn't have to do the extra shit that I had to do to hit it. Like I committed my whole life and training to that deadlift. As in, I didn't do any CrossFit. I had to eat like a power lifter or whatever, strongman athlete. And you just still CrossFitted as primary. Yeah. All the CrossFit, and then you did some FixFit jack.
We did some FixFit jack.
And then you came in and hit a deadlift. I was still deadlifting 2 to 3 times a week, working on my setup, and it's like, so you got all the you evolved the program to have less wear and tear on the body from a nutrition and a physical training standpoint. You're deadlifting way less, and you're still able to throw down at that top percentage weight. It's like it's mind blowing. It's already gotten better than what I've done. It's like I don't need to deadlift
every day,
or twice a week, or to do back squats. I was doing piston squats like I talked about, back squats twice a week.
Heavy farmers carries.
Yeah. And so it's it was really cool to see on your story about just doing mostly the FixFit jack stuff.
Yeah. I think if you do the same thing, what's 5 pounds next month?
Legitimately did after the third week.
That's all I kept thinking.
I wouldn't say 0 deadlifts, but 0 extra work on deadlifts. And I also during the entire training cycle I went beltless.
Yeah.
So I tried to, because I was like, listen, and I told DJ too, I'm like, if I look like I need a belt, I need to stop then. It's too heavy for the day. It's not what I'm trying to do. So go to my, to the max that I can do for that day, or in a workout, go heavy to where I don't need a belt.
You know what was the biggest turning point in why I wanted Dang on the podcast for the follow-up of this FixFit concept thing? It was before the lifting even happened, before the deadlift happened. I remember we were just having meetings, me, you, and Leslie or something, and then you're telling me this was probably 3 or 4 weeks into the FixFit concepts, and she said, she told me, she was like, the first couple weeks of the FixFit concepts, I was still athlete mode. She was just in there to get the reps done. She's like, I just came in to get the work. She said,
following it by the paper.
Get the reps done. And then she's like, she already realized at that point, she's like, oh no, now I'm actually slowing it down. And she sent me a ton of videos on her deadlift, and I did the side by side with Steffi and all these other people, and just she had the mindset now to learn how to train properly, I guess, or to change her imbalances.
Yeah.
So I was like, that right there, I just remember that from halfway through, oh, she gets it. This is the whole purpose of it, because she could have did what I did in a sense and just kept putting on more weights and just following the program as it was written.
Practice deadlifting more. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. If you just did the same thing next month, I messaged you that. I was like, just do the same shit again. And I bet you'll get 5 pounds next month.
Yeah, and it feels a lot different, because my biggest issue with the deadlift specifically, because that was my main goal, right, was that I was still deadlifting. Even with all the FixFit stuff, I was still using the wrong muscles. I was my back didn't hurt, so that was good, but I still wasn't using the appropriate muscles. So I would keep sending Mark these videos listen, they feel good, but something doesn't feel right. Something feels off. And so we decided that I was using 0 VMO. I was using all lower back and my hips, because my hips would shoot up first, and then I would finish with glutes and quad.
I was going to say, you need more double down.
Yeah. So then
heavier double downs.
And because I sumoed instead of conventional, what I started doing was doing double down in a sumo stance.
Ooh. Like that
with the bar.
Because I was gonna say, if you're having trouble initiating that lift, I would say VMOs. That's not driving it off the ground.
That's the process, because we had those issues, and I was like, since you are doing sumos, do the double down with it, because that's what you need.
Tough.
Sumo.
Oh my gosh, my inner thighs and my glutes, it hurts. It was on fire, and warming up was a lot shorter because I don't have muscular endurance in these muscles. So it didn't take very long. I'm like, I can't. I'm done.
I know.
But there's also a limit in the beginning when people start actually engaging those muscles. You have to realize you can't just cram. You can't just do fucking double downs 3 sets every day. They're going to be fatigued, right? And then you might default to using your back, and again, because they fatigue. So there has to be that process of understanding that you just got these little babies to work. They need a nap. They need a nap.
They need to recover. But I also lifted like Mark. I did all the lifts except for squatting, just because I did some other stuff like the day before. I'm like, I don't need to squat. And I hit a 105 snatch, a 155 clean, a 135 bench, which I don't know where that came from.
Pecs. You're learning to use them with the deadlift too.
I jerked.
Really close to my bench.
I split jerked instead of press because I benched. Hit like 145 or 155 from the rack, which is like almost as much as I cleaned, so that's not fantastic on my clean part. And then the 295 deadlift. So
it's such a
hit
good,
my minimums.
Yeah, it's such a good training evolution for, let's say, CrossFitter, because that's what we are. We love doing stupid shit, and Saturday was stupid shit. Like
the stupidest.
No one in CrossFit Sun, even though I posted it all up and went through the whole powerlifting protocol of tapering and all that. I don't think anyone did that shit.
I didn't taper at all.
And so we hit like Mary. We did all this like Ghost, the hero Ghost.
Oh my gosh,
the boxer workout Ghost, and then we rolled like no one tapered. But
just think too. This 8-week program was during the holidays.
Yeah.
Which was like nobody did it
also,
for 2 fucking weeks.
90% of the people that did it are new to FixFit, the concept of FixFit. So the first 2 weeks don't even really count, right? Because
that's what we said.
No one's using weights.
Yeah. 2 weeks didn't count, and then 2 weeks was holidays, and then even though coming back from New Year's Day, people were like slowly trickling back in. And
they're falling off or whatever.
Yeah.
New diet starting.
Or like coming back into and the first few weeks you're doing everything with an empty bar. You're just learning how to squat correctly. So there's just like a barbell.
Yeah.
So really, the first 2 weeks is just learning how to move, and then really, so like how much weight are you really adding on that last month?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to be all of a sudden putting 315 on the bar when you just learned how to squat.
That's why I think if you
just keep doing this.
Just keep doing it. Yeah. Keep doing for another month and see what happens. Retest it on your own.
It's really cool because like that, it was not smart for me to do all 5 lifts on Saturday, but that's what I do. I like to do little challenges to test, and I like to just throw down at any time. That's what CrossFitters like. Like I still want to be able to snatch, even though I haven't snatched in a while. I didn't need to go to that extreme, but it was just for fun,
Yeah.
And so there's, I have no pain. I'm not even that sore, which is really weird. I don't know if it's the diet too, but it's been
probably
right, a little bit less inflammation. But it was just
or the drinking.
And I rolled with Miles in the the open house right after that. So I rolled 3 or 4 rounds with that. Obviously it's super light or whatever, but like.
No, I'm sure you beat Miles up.
No big deal.
No biggie. If you want to say you tapped him
don't
a few
forget
times.
line dancing.
Don't forget line dancing.
Oh, and then
and then my feet.
That was harder than all the training.
I did not partake in that.
That was sweating.
Dude, everyone was sweaty mess. Oh,
so it's just, I think it's just, I think hopefully the concept, the purpose, the intent of that program still remains, right? So if people didn't hit a PR, or if they've fallen off, or whatever the case is, that wasn't the program's intent.
Dude, and it birthed another program, the Pump Palace.
The Pump Palace, held by the
co-captain. How many captains are there? 3? 3 co-captains?
I think there's the main captain, and then there's like 2.
Are you and Leslie the co-captains?
Yeah, we're the co-captains.
The Pump Palace posse?
It's so cool because like even
it's evolving.
There's the professor. And then there's the co-captains. There you go.
I think that can be a standalone thing, because now we're gonna chat. Ian and I are gonna chat and close out the FixFit concepts thing and see what we've learned. But I think there's 2 parts to it. We just kind of threw everything together.
Yeah.
But now it's like we realize that people can use some of that like beginning. I'll ask you, Dang, like the beginning workshop, just to take some video of yourself, understand what a piston is or how your foot's collapsed or you're shifting. Like that's one part of it. And the second part is finding the right training program for your goals. And I think a majority of the people can benefit from FixFit Jacked, Pump Posse, whatever you like to call it, because that is a perfect accessory program for whatever you do, running, jiu-jitsu, CrossFit, or whatever.
Yeah.
Because then we were trying to also fit in like a powerlifting protocol in there, because everyone just knows that if you back squat, bench, deadlift, that's a good strength protocol. Yep. So now we're realizing that might not even be, and that's what we said, not even necessary. Like a barbell squat's unnecessary. We just proven that. We don't even need to use a barbell because all of the FixFit Jack stuff was dumbbells and bands. And
a lot of bands.
Like a ghetto Globo gym.
And even DJ
all
same
the machines
thing,
are done with bands.
DJ PR3 lifts and whatnot. And he the same thing with Dang. They trained together. They didn't do the, like, I had to do 10-minute squats or I had to do deadlifts heavy. Like, he had a
DJ posted that his diet's been consistent for a year. His lifting.
He doesn't CrossFit any less or any more than he did.
Nothing changed. Adding his pump posse.
Yeah.
Which was functional, like FixFit Jack stuff, but more bands was interesting to note, I thought, but it was still a lot of VMO when you guys do a lot of obliques.
I can't turn. It's like now that I've. Also, another thing with the FixFit concepts is that I can turn on what I want to turn on. Mm-hmm. Without a huge problem.
Yeah.
Like if I'm doing something and Les is like, hey, you are not using your glutes when you're doing this, or like, oh, you're not using enough VMO, you're using too much of something else.
Turn it on.
And I can just like, okay, cool, I gotta reset for a second, and then I can turn those on and like redo the same movement and be like, okay, cool, I'm doing it right now.
That's why at the seminar I was pretty much walking around with people going like,
before
you can't feel it today?
For the life of me, I can't.
Yeah, I was like,
that's the whole purpose for the program.
Right. Note it, and then you're gonna have to work on it because it doesn't happen overnight.
That's what we wanted people to fill out on their, what they had little worksheets during the workshop. Where it's like, write what doesn't work. And then at the end of it, that's the real PR, right? Yeah. Like if you wrote, I can't feel my left, or any VMO, then hopefully if you did the homework and that was the intent and the goal, if you could turn them on, you've won.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I mean, assessing it that doesn't work and you see the shift and whatnot, you're ahead of the game.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But now hopefully you have the tools to understand how to turn them on and know how to work at it when you have time.
Yep.
When you got time. I think
being less crooked.
I think the cool part is
nice
the
thing.
Right
posture.
We just wait for
my world.
Are you gonna post up some of those videos, the shoulder and stuff?
You gotta. I was gonna wait.
Maybe
until
we'll use
we were
it
done.
for the. We could use that image for the podcast.
Because I'm not the biggest. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not the biggest athlete at our gym, and so it's hard for me to just keep gaining strength. So I did PR, so that was nice on my deadlift.
You mean strength in terms of definition of athlete, because everyone sees you as
PRs
like the
as numbers,
crazy workout person. Right?
Yeah. So for me, it's easier to maintain the current strength I have than to just keep PRing in weights, if that's what we're quantifying it as.
Right.
But I did show you guys the picture like the other day that before FixFit, I would be standing and like doing something, and my left shoulder was like almost touching my ear. And then the bottom picture was me, I think flexing, like in our gym 3 days ago, and I'm almost completely even now, without really
rolling out. And
rolling it. And I also, when we're doing the FixFit stuff, I'm not thinking like, okay, left shoulder, like I'm just thinking of that muscle that I'm working on. If it's lats. And try to turn off the traps while I'm doing lats, because it doesn't make a difference if I'm doing lats and then my trap's constantly on. If I'm doing biceps, it's like, okay, like bicep curls, cool. If I'm starting to use shoulder momentum, you're too heavy, or I'm done for this set. So it's kind of like focusing on that in that moment helped a lot. And then all of a sudden, that came up in my memory. I took another picture and I showed it to these guys, and I'm like, dude, I'm like almost even.
Yeah.
It's gnarly.
Just in like 2 months, barely.
And that's what it's crazy, because like if you, like in your world, right? It's all about posture and fixing people's, I don't know, their alignment, how they stand, their gait, and all that stuff. And usually it's like two different worlds. It's like someone's gonna come in with, let's say, Dang had scoliosis because one shoulder and the spine, like it looked pretty bad, right? So then if she went to the traditional mindset of fixing her, they would just try to correct and align her,
but with,
doing correct
joints. And the spine should just.
But she wouldn't be able to deadlift 295 at the end of their correction phase or whatever. They get way worse and probably get more sad that you can't do anything, because usually they'll be like, stop doing muscle ups.
Yeah, they probably tell me to stop doing that stuff.
But you
that's true.
corrected something in such a short time.
Yep.
Huge imbalance, and your performance went up, and you did less training for the movement, so you have less wear and tear. It's like, it's a pretty cool story.
It's win-win-win. I love it.
I can't wait to
can't wait for round 2.
Because then, like, Jude, Hershey, DJ...
Yeah, we've pulled so many people into this FixFit Jack stuff now.
And just a bunch of people... But it's like you guys call it pump posse, right? And it's so cool because then they're just following, I think, Thunder Bros. Or you're able to just take a different protocol and program and then add a little bit of FixFit to it.
Yep.
So then even for myself for that month of just doing FixFit Jack stuff, even like I went in at like 9 p.m. one day just to work on it. And you leave the gym feeling good.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You're not just
pumping postural muscles. That's why
you don't feel torn down.
Yeah.
Right. I feel full. I feel like I worked out. I'm tired, but I also don't feel like I got completely crushed today.
And DJ's whole tagline is amazing because as a CrossFitter, you know, like it's all about performance. And whatever, they blame it like, oh, you're just genetics. That's why you don't look a certain way. But now it's like you can move like a CrossFitter and look like a bodybuilder. That's like most people care about aesthetics, whether you say it or not, right?
Yeah.
It's so it's been cool because like even for the deadlift, I could lift a lot, but I was, thick or chunky or whatever,
Thick girl.
Or before I could do a lot of CrossFit, but I was like
the skinny guy.
Like
that's
super
why you're fast.
Yeah, and so now I can build lean muscle. I can still perform and do the shit I like to jiu-jitsu and CrossFit.
And now everybody hates you. It's like, great, now you can lift and CrossFit and you're smaller. Fuck you, man.
And now do jiu-jitsu at a lighter weight class.
Bullshit. That's what I think.
And I was watching because it's awesome because the group, the people created the Pump Posse and they were running it, and I was outside looking in.
Yeah.
And so I can't wait to now for us, you and I, Ian, to dive deeper into like
why it worked
and fine tuning it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's like
we've already been.
Exactly.
We've already quietly in our own worlds been like, I know exactly.
Because we're watching, because you're facilitating the group, and it's like become its own thing, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But now we're like, man, let's see how it plays out.
Why is there something to this?
Yeah, and then like, can we make a more fine-tuned? It's like what we did with powerlifting, right? If you were to follow the traditional powerlifting program, we kind of added the FixFit spin.
Yeah.
But now we're taking a functional bodybuilding, a bodybuilding protocol or accessory protocol, but now we can really fine tune and make it so that it's purely fully fit integrated, and you'll get the most out of the least amount of training.
Right.
Because like even with the Pump Posse, like how many extra movements or sets that you guys are doing that it might be too much.
Yeah.
Can we even shorten that, like what we've done for the lifting, right? Like I didn't even have to lift this whole month.
Cycle.
Right.
I didn't even have to lift, and I hit all the numbers that I wanted to. Some maybe a little lower, like the strict press, but like it was just I didn't have to do any training. Like
specific to the lifting. Yeah.
And I don't have to like have a bad lifting day and beat myself up. A bad deadlift day, I'm just like I got a good pump from the lat hinges. It took 10 minutes, So I can't wait.
Daddy.
And it doesn't affect anything else. Like it only benefits. It doesn't take away from my CrossFit. Like I don't feel like doing this before or after, because we usually do it before the 9 a.m. class, so we're fatigued, right?
Yeah.
We'll be, depending on, like, when we did Ghost, I was like, okay, yeah, my quads are burning, but it's a hero workout. It's not like your normal workout, so it doesn't fatigue us for CrossFit, and so there's literally only benefit. And if it's too much, like if it takes too much time, obviously cut some stuff out. We were putting it because DJ, myself, and Leslie, we have a little bit more time than the average gym goer, so we're like, oh, let's do this extra stuff. But if you can't do 5 sets, do 3. If you can't like do all of the movements, then do the one that works the most for you. Yep. And even DJ, we have that board of stuff. He's been cutting stuff out and to make it more dense.
Yeah,
like shorten, like more to the point.
Yeah,
so,
what's the most important ones? Yeah, right? Like filter out some of that. Yeah. Well, that might be fun.
That's like filler. That's like
if you have more time to do it.
Yeah. So even on our own, before you guys are coming in, we're still like tweaking and stuff. But it's fun. Everyone likes it. It's just
summer's approaching.
Beneficial.
And it's the best way to modify, like, because this is kind of like an injury rehab prevention podcast, really FixFit mindset. But this allows you, like, if you like to lift weights and still be strong, which we do, we're CrossFitters, lifters, whatever. Then these FixFit jacked or Pump Posse movements are your modifications. So like if your shoulder hurts from doing a lot of pull-ups all the time, then just save it for your benchmark day when you want to have fun, or save it for Murph.
Yeah.
But throughout the year, if you're doing things to get your body stronger and you're gonna PR your Mary, your Murph without tearing your shoulder, like
we say, save
perfect.
it for the workout that matters. Like, you know how when my hip was hurting and I'm doing toes bar and it hurts and I can't do it, he's like, this isn't the open. This isn't.
That's what I said on Saturday, because TK, someone was lifting and they were trying to, like, you know, we share advice, but like on competition day, the last thing you want to think about is like, oh, make sure you put your foot here or do something different, right? Like, you're just supposed to compete.
Yeah. Right.
And there's
risk.
There's risk and reward. You never have to compete, but if you're competing, you should just go all out.
Yeah.
But that's only one time every quarter or something, every other year.
Yeah.
So you don't want to have that, like, you know.
Yeah, like you know, if you, Cindy, like, or whatever, just get a good workout. But like I was saying, my hips were hurting and I couldn't do toes bar. He's like, well, do V-ups hurt you? Do these movements hurt you? I'm like, no. He's like, do this then. Save it for the workouts that matter, which is for us would be like the open, or maybe we have a team comp or whatever. Save it for that. Go all out then. Right. But right now, you're training. It does not matter at the end of the day. Like, it is what it is, right? So just scale it to where you can still do the movement that attacks the muscle that it's supposed to, without literally, like, digging yourself into the ground. So that's what I did for like 3 months. I would just modify everything that hurt my hip and did FixFit to make it stronger. And then after a few months, I slowly started adding stuff in and it didn't hurt, so I kept going with it.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of like rehabbed my hip a little bit without having to stop CrossFit completely.
Which is the true success story. That's why she's on. She learned how to work out because she wants to work out for the rest of her life. Right. That's why, like, people will see the big numbers or the, it's like, yeah, the 295 is cool. Even the shoulder change where your shoulders are more balanced is cool. But the biggest success story from Ian and I's standpoint is you know how to take care of yourself. That's FixFit in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Your hip hurts. Okay, I know how to fire the right muscles. Number one, you know how to assess and figure out what's causing it, so you have a direct fix to it.
Yeah, what if it wasn't just toes bar? What if it was all these other things?
It wasn't just toes bar. It was like handstand walks. It was literally
weird stuff,
like handstand walks would hurt. But
so
that's
now you're getting like scared, right?
Yeah, I was overextending.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Now this movement? Now sleep?
And she like DJ. She was dealing with this for like 2 weeks. She did all this. She like was trying to sleep on the hardwood floor. The ground. She's doing all this like old school Chinese medicine type of thing, whatever, old Asian lady protocol.
Eucalyptus oils on me.
She finally came to me, and then it's like, it's scary because you're trying everything to fix it. This is before all this FixFit concept stuff.
Oh yeah, this is like
and then
a while ago.
I had a video of it. You can scroll way back on my Instagram, but then you're afraid because you don't know what's causing it. Then you start to go down the rabbit hole of like, oh fuck, is this something serious? Should I have to take months off? But once it took like fucking 5 to 10 minutes to figure out what was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was the immediate like test retest benefit, and then from then on it was like she was good. I didn't even have to, from like that day on, for those 5 minutes and once we found the problem, then she was able to work through it, work with it, and then now if it ever happens again, she's good. Like,
it's awesome.
And even at the seminar in person, you guys were like, this is not for us to give you a template. I mean, it is a template, but we're not here for you guys to always
rely on us,
rely on you guys, or rely on that piece of paper, right? It's like, eventually, hopefully you don't, but if you do injure yourself or like you want to fix an imbalance, you know how to assess it on your own, and then you know how to the movements and how to fix it on your own.
Right.
And I've slowly learned how to do that. Like, if something is starting to hurt, I assess like what I did to make it hurt. Why is it hurting? Like, am I using something else? Is something else taking over and it's hurting?
Right.
Am I overusing it? And then eventually I'm like, I take some stuff out and then it stops hurting. And I'm like, cool, okay, that's why it was hurting. Well, now I can't just stop doing those movements, so I need to fix why it's hurting.
Right.
Like, am I using too much quad? Am I using too much back? Am I using too much whatever, and not my VMO, my hip flexor, or like the smaller muscles that I never use?
Right.
So then integrate those in, and then soon I'll go back to toes to bar. Doesn't hurt anymore? Cool, I'll keep doing it correctly. Until game day, and then it's like, nothing matters.
You gotta compete once in a while. You gotta throw down once in a while. It's not this.
It hurts. I don't care.
This FixFit thing isn't to put like a helmet on and stay safe all the time. It's for you to build a foundation to go harder. You know.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Getting there.
Everybody's sport's a little different.
Who would have thought? Dang, sounds like a FixFitter.
I know. It only took 3 years.
I've spent so many hours.
Now she's in a medical office talking rehab.
Yeah.
What?
So many hours with the Happy Hour crew, just trying to.
To be honest, we're the worst.
Trying to teach someone something that's trying to teach someone something that's not out there. It's not like a proven thing where you can like have validation.
And then you have brains like DJ and I, and it's like, well, shit, dude.
And you're teaching people that don't want to learn it. It's like, what the fuck?
Remember when my shoulder was starting to hurt, the bum one?
Yeah.
And then we were snatching, like, oh, this hurts, I can't do it. And then I started doing barbell rows instead, because we were in an EMOM. I couldn't just stop. And Mark's like, I'm gonna row with you too. That's a good idea. And then he was looking at it, and he's like, well, what if you do it like this? And then I just tried it, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't hurt anymore. And then I was about to go back to snatching, and I was like, oh, I can't do that. And then Mark looked at me like, I swear to God, if you go back to snatching, I'm gonna fucking murder you.
We do this happens in class a lot. I remember someone was like, during middle of shoulder to overhead, doing push presses, and like it tweaked it pretty bad, and then like came to me during the work. I was like, oh, my shoulder hurts, like I can't really lift it. I was like, okay, so you do a lot of these, push into your palms, get your pec to fire, and then push into the slam ball. And I left him with the slam ball because he was able to press it without standing, vertical, pec staying on. He was able to do that, and then there was no pain. And then so I turned around, and I thought he was back on the barbell, then 135.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah,
I feel great. That's literally my day of snatching.
And I looked up. I was like, "What are you doing?" Oh, it feels good now. I'm like, "You could." That's how, like, one, it's cool that it worked that fast, but two, like,
it can.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
You want to take it easy?
I was like, I was about to go back into snatching, and I was like, Mark is gonna give me an earful right before, and I'm like, nope, let's be good.
Right, then I PR'd my snatch right then and there with a torn
what do you think, Ian?
With a fractured rotator cuff.
Just spitballing is what we do. So is it? I think it's like FixFit Jacked or Pump Posse or whatever. It's not even like a supplemental program. So what I'm saying is usually you do FixFit, right? To supplement, as in like you do FixFit to learn how to do pistons and all that stuff, right? Move right, hinge right, press right, row, and then you'll do like a FixFit Olympic lifting protocol, right? And then a FixFit powerlifting protocol or jiu-jitsu. I think it's like we have like an extra step now. The first part is the assessing and the basic movements. And then people should probably do a good session or chapter 2 or level 2 is like the FixFit Jack stuff. And then it's like once you have those first 2 lesson plans done or whatever, level 3 is then you apply it to your sport. Yeah, because like with going from the first workshop, let's say, and then you want to jump into jiu-jitsu or Olympic lifting, you still haven't practiced and developed, like Dang said, fire the right muscles just because you took a workshop. You can't go straight into like, well, I'm doing an arm bar, can I fire my teres? Like, you have no comprehension. So I think it might just seem to fit that way. It's not like a supplemental program. It seems like it's a necessity almost now.
No, it is. There's a reason that the bands are working so well too, because it's getting like for Dang to learn how to fire her lat with like a band versus like just the anchor press with like a dumbbell. It's completely different.
The same day you and I and Leslie and Chris was there, we Double Down was born. The same day we did anchor rows with the band, and that's not poor anchor rows. They should get as much publicity as the Double Down, but it's the one thing I've been using right before my sets of dumbbell rows because it works just as well, and it's just with the band.
Yeah, there's better stability with bands for sure. But if you're trying to re-educate a muscle, you need that banded tension, not a free-floating dumbbell tension, because that's different. It's like Dang's trying to set down her shoulder over and over. Yeah, she's like trying to set it down. She's like, it's fucking not on. But then she's in Pump Palace, freaking just going like, I'm not turning it on until, or I'm not counting till it's on. Now she's fatiguing it, lengthening it, fatiguing it, lengthening it.
When we do the Pump Posse stuff, we usually do both. We'll do a dumbbell and we'll do a band, because the dumbbell or the band, one is for more of the activation, and then the other one is like, okay, well, you know how to turn the lat on now. Well, now let's do some lat pull downs with the actual bar and some real weight. And then the band is like what feels like 1,000 reps.
It always does.
The point is to turn it on, and if you don't do 3 sets of 10 like any other lifting protocol. It's like 3 sets of however the fuck long it takes for you to turn the lats on, and then once it's on, you race over to the lat pull down bar, set everything down, go heavy ish, and then do like 10 good reps.
You bring up a great point, because it's like when a lot of guys have been in the gym and do the bodybuilding template. You do your pyramid sets, 3x12. You want to, and then you drop set and all that, right? And so the cool thing about the FixFit Jack, or the pump posse that I've been seeing, is that our goal, the minor mindset change, is that not only are we trying to get, let's say if you're doing bicep curl to pump your bicep, but to have the next level like effectiveness, it's like, okay, I can feel my short head bicep and the pec
and the chest.
Cool. Now if you keep going, you should be able to flex your oblique and glute and start to like add in more and more. So it's like just the beginning, because the first beginning phase is people just need to fire their VMO. But then once they have that double down, then I'm yelling at them to make sure your glutes on, make sure you're, you know? So it's like, that's how, even though you're using the same band tension, you don't have to feel like you have to go like 10-pound dumbbell double down and then fucking 106-pound dumbbell.
Right.
At the end of it. It's, you should be kind of rewiring the system more effectively. And I think that's the scientific, you know, special sauce.
That's where you re-educate it.
Yeah.
Because also the way that you're firing your lat with a band is completely different. Dang just sparked it in my head that when she said that, when she's using a dumbbell, you said dumbbell overhead to get the lat, right?
Too much.
So your shoulders open up, right? And you're getting the lat to barely kick on, but then once you add that lat pull down, now you're really lengthening it and having to like do that compound movement.
Yes, the weight's pulling her shoulder up.
Right. So her
dumbbell.
A dumbbell, your shoulders like here or like forward, like flexed, versus like with the banded like lat pull down, like your shoulder gets into extension
and then bringing it back.
Right. So one's turning it on, and one's strengthening it.
Yeah.
But you can't strengthen it without it on.
Yeah. So that's what we try to do is we'll pump, right? Pump it up to kind of just get the blood in the right place.
Yes.
And also, but while also not using the other incorrect muscles as well. And then from there, we'll do the strength portion, which is usually just like some dumbbells or, you know, not going crazy heavy or nothing. Usually it's just dumbbells. And then that's when we like pause at the top, negative down, like whatever. And I think the heaviest kettlebell we've used is like a 26 or a 35.
And it burns.
And that's for like squats. Most of the time the dumbbells are like 12s.
I haven't done too much in the last month. FixFit Jack was the purpose, the intent is to get that serious pump through the chain muscles.
I'm telling you, man, and it burns. Doesn't have to be heavy for it to hurt.
Every time 7 p.m. we get together, we're doing stuff, and even like after
dumbbell row,
we were doing like 50 to 60 pounds. It doesn't have to be crazy.
Yeah, we did a dumbbell row right in a bicep.
And then 25-pound curls. We don't need it. I remember going to the 24-hour-fitness back then. You want to curl like the 40s or the 50s. You know, like what's the point when you're not getting anything out of it?
Yep.
I think the next evolution to test out, just brainstorming here, is a FlexFit protocol.
Let's do it. Just in time for summer.
That's exactly what I was saying. Or, you know, maybe break. It's like a dual thing where yours is more, it could be jiu-jitsu based. Because there's a performance-based way of doing it versus it just being a steady.
Yeah, for me, I don't want to strengthen well, I do want to strengthen the lat, but I just want to make sure the lat's on all the time,
like
you know?
function-wise.
Functioning lats.
So it's like the flex fit of different goals again.
Because if you do only jiu-jitsu and I fire my lat over and over like this, it's not challenging it enough.
The other day, Leslie and I were jokingly, half-heartedly, like, we were in the middle of doing something quad day is the worst fucking day. It hurts so bad. It hurts. It hurts. So we're like, we better look good this summer. Like, we better look different. We better look so
Spring
good.
Break. Dude,
or we're gonna
be summer.
Or we're gonna be pissed. And then the other day we were pushing sleds in class, and I'm like, damn, Leslie, your butt looks so good. But like jokingly, right? We're like, we better look good. But then
maybe that's
we'll do something, and it's like I snatched on Saturday, and it was 105, which is my minimum that I try to hit all the time, and I hit it. And Leslie looked back right at when I was done, and she's like, "You didn't rotate at all. Like I started here and I stayed here." And I was like, "Yes!" And like my delts and my shoulder, like everything looks even.
You're glistening.
Yeah. I'm like, put me on stage. I'm ready.
We're going for spring break. We're not waiting for summer.
There's a lot of psychology to this, right? That's why a lot of people quit hard training programs, because they don't see the physical results.
Right.
Right. Like. Mm-hmm. Unless you're an athlete, which is rare, like you know, then you're gonna understand that you enjoy the training or the pain. But same with FixFit, it's like we could program all this stuff to, let's say, hey, this is gonna help you rid your chronic lifelong knee pain.
It's like, cool, but I don't look any better.
I don't
want to do this.
Shit, because you know you forget about pain, but you see yourself every day, and a little bit of like, even with this carnivore diet, I think the sell is people are reaching out to me and saying like, hey, I want to try it, and it's probably because I look more fit. Not because I can perform better or anything, because people just gravitate towards that.
Yeah.
They want to be able to be ready for the summer.
I think that's how it starts. And you
kind of sneak in the FixFit, like that's the actual like Trojan horse, but hey, you can look better while you work out.
I think that's how it starts, because with everyone, with DJ, with I, with Leslie, we all started the FixFit concepts with the intention of PRing. Now, PRing what lift specifically? Leslie and I wanted deadlifts. Mm-hmm. DJ,
snatch,
all of them.
All as many.
But for us, it's like for sure strength. Like, we're not doing this to not get strong, right?
Or just to look good, right? Like have a bigger ass. Like you don't just start.
Yeah, like I want muscles or something along those lines. So we started this with like, well, we better fucking get stronger or look good or something with all this extra shit that we're doing that we don't want to, right? That's the thing, is like we didn't. It's just more like it's the broccoli before your dessert. Like no one really wants to do that.
That's good.
It's not pretty. Yeah. Like it's the broccoli before your dessert.
You can't sell that. You know? But if you see abs, you're like, oh, I'll eat the whatever. You know.
So halfway through, that's when it got fun for us. That's when we're like, shit, my lat turns on. Oh, my VMO's turning on, and then we stopped caring so much about the PRs and the looks and more into the functional part. So maybe that's just.
Then the Pump Palace was born.
It's weird because it's like right when you actually let it go, like the mindset of hitting a PR.
Then it got fun.
Then you actually get it.
Yeah.
Because then you start understanding the training. That's like always life in general, right? It's not the instant gratification. Once you understand the purpose of it, the why, and then you actually hit the goals you always wanted.
Yeah.
Versus like I want to look good. I want to look good.
We all ended up PRing, and we didn't notice until we were at the weight and we're like, shit, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
But literally weeks and weeks and weeks up to this, we're like, oh shit, the lifting thing's on Saturday, huh? We didn't prepare for it. We, like Mark said, we didn't taper.
It did sneak up, huh?
We haven't, Leslie and I, our main goal was the deadlift, haven't touched a heavy deadlift barbell in like maybe 2 or 3 weeks outside of whatever CrossFit had.
Yeah. I could have easily just went like, well, I had thoughts of like, oh, I haven't done any lifts, so I'll just come in and take pictures and photos for people and videos.
Like, let's see.
Exactly. Put it to the test. Fuck.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. Let's do all the lifts.
And it ended up well, and the lifting event's over, right? It was Saturday. Mm-hmm. Today's Monday, and we're still did some hammies and some glutes, Leslie and I, because I feel
good
fun.
today.
It's just
tagline for the Pump Palace: the broccoli before dessert. I like it.
It's the broccoli before the cake.
Broccoli before the cake.
I
like it.
It's hard to sell, but I mean, eventually.
Oh man, I'm getting hungry. We were talking ribeyes like an hour ago. I'm freaking like really getting. All right, let's wrap this up. You can follow Dang at Dang.
_92.
92 when she was born, for all of you.
Oh my god, is that for real?
Isn't
Why
it?
Why you gotta do that?
Because I'm 89, so I know.
Damn, man.
92. I was like, it's gotta be her birthday.
I'm legit barely older than Mark's daughter.
It's really.
Don't tell this old guy that.
I was talking to one of the jiu-jitsu guys, and Compel Jiu-Jitsu, his name's Nick, and then Leo's like, "Oh man, you're only 20." I'm like, I'm rolling with my daughter here. Like,
what the?
We're the same age.
Yeah, but follow Dang at Dang _92 and at CrossFit Son.
Yeah.
He's part of the socials.
I'm the socials now.
She's the socials.
I'm the socials.
You know how hard it is for me to not post stuff on there?
Yeah, and the one time you did, you fucked it all up.
I'm gonna start. I now just start sending her tagging Dangs to like let her do it, but it's habit. And so I want to post.
He posted one thing this one day, and I texted him like, "Bro, I was saving that for Friday. He's done and fucked it up now."
If you give up the socials, Mark, give up the socials.
The socials.
The generation.
I'm not.
Okay, boomer.
I got it.
Follow me at old and won't change.
He sends me a link I can't even click on.
He sends he's one of those,
like a snapshot. Like
this is my meme. This is my AOL account.
He sends the meme of the accounts that we're not following. So you're like, can't see it, Mark.
It's blocked. Great, thanks, Mark.
Okay, boomer. All right.
That's so true. When you get people that post the unavailable content, you're like, come on, dude.
That's great.
Stop sending me those. Good pod, though. That was fun.
Fantastic.
Thanks for coming, Dang. Nailed it. Boom.
Easy.
One more flex.
What? What do you?
One more flex out.
Nailed it.
All right, we're out of here. Let's go eat.
You got good lighting up in here.
We do.
From this
it's your jaundice.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
Yellow.
Jaundice.